And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the TESPA Overwatch presented by St. Clair Saints Gaming. My name is the Sage one, and joining me is Sox. How you doing?
I'm doing a little bit better than you, I think, today.
My brain is all over the place sometimes, but we're going to be jumping right into this match. If you guys are just tuning in, then Ohio State ended up actually losing to St. Clair there in the first game. So now, St. Clair, they're jumping right on back into it. We got St. Clair College versus Auburn University, and from what I've been hearing, St. Clair, they already scrimmed them, but it was with a makeshift team. So we'll see how the actual main roster does versus Auburn. But I'm really excited to see all of these different comps coming out, because I believe we already saw this map, if I'm not mistaken.
We did. First game against Ohio State, we saw this exact map come out.
There you go.
Funny how we see it again.
Exactly, and we get to see different strats come out, because we're seeing the third variation of this map. We already did the first two, and I'm not too sure what they're called, but we get to see this one where there's a big thing in the middle, and that's what they got to cap. So got to go up some steps, got to cap the main point, and we'll see how exactly St. Clair do that here.
I know we're still in the planning phase, but I'm really hoping that Torbjorn stays throughout the entire game.
We're starting to see that, and he can. I know, it's a meme. I know. It's done in League as well. But when you hover a character, sometimes you want to see it, and I don't think we're going to be seeing that here, which is completely fine. We're going to be seeing the May, we're going to be seeing the Reaper. And I was going to do a little bit of analysis on the Torbjorn if it was brought up, and it's not going to be brought up here, but we get to see St. Clair initially. They're on the point here, and they actually already caught out a member.
Caught out the May. The May caught out the May.
That's it. The May caught out the May, and sometimes that's what you got to do in order to win, but that's going to be initially the Arisa going to be falling as well. Wern going to destroy his competition as Willow ends up getting a double kill for himself, which is really good. And that's going to be easy cap by Auburn University. St.
Clair fell for the May bait. They sent the May in.
That's it. And
then the enemy May just kind of was like, reverse capture.
reverse as our May, the one that we're looking at, ends up falling very early on, and it was a pretty good bait. As we saw the Brad, he ends up just going in, uses his icicle, and then just ends up walling the heck up, and he gets out of there. So we'll get to see how St. Clair come back from this one, as the opponents already have 25%, as the May wall ends up going out on both sides. It's going to be going down, but it's fine, as the Sigma barrier going to be going in. It easily gets destroyed, as Reinhardt is at the front of the Charge Coalescence, going to be coming out, only going to be hitting a couple of these members. The Earth Shatter going to destroy 3 members. And that's going to be Jub, Walla, Kingdom Heart, and Damage, all falling to the hands of Auburn University. Crypt does grab one for himself, but it's not enough at the end of the day.
Watching them all kind of line up and just get picked off one by one by trying to get in through the same entrance. I think St. Clair, if they really want to capture this point, are going to have to split.
Yes.
Going to have to try to go around, going to try to pull some funny stuff.
It's exactly what I was thinking, is that, most of the time it doesn't work when you just go head on, right? When you're going up the main steps and your opponent expects you to go up the main steps, don't go up the main steps. Try and do something else. Try and go somewhere else in order to get these fights off. Blizzard going to be activated. Reaper going to get his butt out of that circle, going to take out the first member. Sigma going to have his ultimate as well. We'll see if he ends up using it. 1 for 1 so far. Jub in the backline does get caught out. Jussie in the backline also gets caught out. Walla now going to destroy his competition as he takes out Wern. And we still see Walla having his ultimate available. He kind of wants to save it for another fight, but we might see him use it here. There's 3 members here still, and that's going to be Sigma. He has to use it. Sound barrier going to get activated, and as I was saying, you see it come out. Walla going to grab 1 kill for himself and set up 2 more for the rest of his members, as we see the Reinhardt get shoved off the point. Jub really wants to get back onto this point as fast as possible, which is usually what happens at 99%. And St. Clair, they're going to start right on back from 0.
There's a little bit of smack talk happening in the chat before.
Yep.
I think it made it a little bit too casual, but now St. Clair's like, all right,
yes,
no more memes. Got to take it seriously now.
That's exactly what we're seeing, and I love how Jub is the one to take the Tracer. He's kind of that guy that loves to switch between all of these different heroes, and we see him now versing a 1v1 versus another Tracer. Boop, 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 boop. They're going to be coming back and forth. 15 health is what Jub ends up going down onto, as we see the rest of the team just going to try and defend versus what Reinhardt can become. I believe he also has Earth Shatter. Going to be taken out very early on, as Walla now he wants wants to go absolutely crazy as Jesse gets one more kill for himself. We see Walla going insane, getting a lot of these members to very low HP. Crypt, Damage, as well as Jub, all going to get kills for themselves as they are slowly approaching that 50% point.
Watching them overextend, I got a little bit nervous, but then they started to pull back, and I'm like, okay, they're not gonna dive into the enemy team's spawn and get themselves killed. Good. They've got some brains on them.
I felt like Walla was kind of thinking there that he was in solo queue. He ends up going into his invincible form, and he realizes that he has healers behind him, right? He's got reliable healers right behind him, and he's allowed to just go off and pop off. But now we're starting to see the Pulse Bomb does take out one member, and it's one of the main healers, which is really good. Coalesce is going to be coming out. Jub on the right-hand side. He's also going to be going behind. He wants to be very, very annoying, and the Sigma ultimate is going to do a lot of damage. Walla can also do a lot of damage with his ultimate. He's going to try and take out the Reaper, and yes, he's going to do so as Kingdom Heart tries to finish off the enemy comp. Walla with 2 more. This dude just got a quadra kill, and he is going insane as Jub finishes off the opponent as they approach the 90% point.
Watching a Reaper pop off is always the most satisfying thing.
Yes.
It's like pop, pop, done.
Oh.
Pop, done.
Yes, and we're going to see that here as well, potentially, as we definitely saw that on 1. We saw that on 2. Walla was on the left-hand side, sneaky beaky, like as CSGO likes to call it, and they stay on the side and pop out of nowhere. Really nice stuff coming out of St. Clair.
Oh, they let Auburn think that maybe they had it with that 99%, and then they came back and they were like, nah, not today.
Exactly. And now St. Clair, they've got to rethink their thoughts as they approach a brand new point. They were able to easily take this one last time, right? This was the first map we saw them on, the first section we saw them on of this map, and they got immediately onto the point and just capped it, and they just stayed on it for the whole entire time. They were really, really good on it. We'll see if the consistency can come back here. What do you think so far? St. Clair looking good?
They're looking really good. I think they have a very strong presence on Nepal, as we saw with their game versus Ohio. I think that this is a map that they're very, very comfortable with.
They got a lot of practice on it, just like Kings Row. They were very confident on that one, and they're definitely way more confident on this one. But sometimes when you approach from a different angle, you might not be looking at the right thing, as you have the Symmetra, the turret, or the TP going to be coming out, and it gets your opponents onto that map just super, super fast. You see the Moira getting her first kill here of this map, and as well, Willow going to grab himself another kill, and there you go. And that's going to be very, very easy coming out from Auburn as they cap that point with really no effort.
They got there long before St. Clair did. They were set up. They knew what they wanted. They knew what they were doing. They're like, I'm not going to let St. Clair on this.
Nope.
We're not going to have another reverse sweep.
Exactly. They had it where it was, like you were talking about earlier in prep, where it was the igloo effect, where you got the Sigma and you also have the Orisa, and it's just very, very nice to see. And now you got Crypto getting onto the point. He wanted to be that frontline tank, and it wasn't enough to get the rest of his team on that, as their shields are way too much. Nice prediction coming in from Walla, but it's just, I don't think it's enough for the time being. Jub going to grab a kill for himself. We'll see if the DPS can absolutely carry this team to victory, as Jub actually ends up falling, which is not good, which means Walla gotta get the heck out of there.
Got to move back, got to regroup, and eventually with the rest of his team there, he'll have the support and backup to walk in, do a Death Blossom, and escape with ease.
Yeah, and we'll maybe see him pull out the Death Blossom in just a couple of seconds as we see him at 90%. We see him kind of around the enemy team, and the enemy team does not see him. He wanted the ult charge, and he wanted to drop down, but was not able to get it right now. He sees his opponents on the right-hand side, but May knows exactly where he is. Double wall going to be coming out as well. The Reaper ultimate is there, and he's going to use it as anyone going to fall. 2 are going to fall for the time being, as Sigma just wants to try and use his ultimate. We see it. Everyone knows it's coming up, as a couple of these members are going to be going up into the air as the sound barrier going to drop as well. Sigma just looking for any kills that he can find. It's going to be the supports are the ones that are going to be coming out here with most of the damage, as well as the tanks. 2 for 2 apiece, as the supports and the tanks just clean right up, and they're in the exact same position as they were on that first point. The opponents were at around 90%. Now they got to start back at 0.
It's a little bit easier now that they have a little bit more wiggle room should they lose the point. It's 89% as opposed to 99%.
Yeah. which means that if the opponents do, if Auburn University do cap this point back, then St. Clair have a little bit of time before they completely lose the point. Unlike that last one, Coalescence going to be coming out to start off that fight, but no one is going to move because Auburn University know that 2 main ultimates. It was the Arisa ultimate as well as Coalescence ended up coming out, and Waller's going to try and stall for as long as possible. Going to try and build up his ultimate because he knows he's got to get it really, really fast as the opponents are going to be coming in literally any second. And here it goes as we see Lucio going to get kind of iced up, and that's going to be 2-0 so far. Waller going to try and build up his ultimate as he tries really, really hard to do so. Crypt going to try and get his ultimate up as well, but that's just going to be the fall of St. Clair as they just don't have enough ult charges. Auburn was just so pinpoint with their own cap as well as when they were able to go in.
Watching them just miss out on it. Literally, you saw it happen. Wrecking Ball was just half a second too late to hop on there, and now we've tied it up 1-1.
Yep. So we're going to be going back into that little corridor map, whatever you like to call this here, which means we might see a Farah, we might see the May come out, we might see the definitely Walla was the one to pull out the McCree, and this is what I love to see is that we already saw Walla pop off on this map, and he did it with the McCree.
It will be really exciting to see them play on this map again because this was another one where it was kind of give and take. Can they take it? Will they hold it? And I'm hoping this time St. Clair gets on there first and captures the point first.
They were the ones last time that had to defend, right? And it's not fun to see them do so when they're struggling just to get onto the point. You can already see the Sigma barrier going down in place, as he said, as the Reaper and the other DPS, McCree, going to go onto the right side and try and catch out literally whoever they can as Lucio tries to get his butt into that little corridor, and he's not going to do a whole lot of damage. Jub going to grab his first kill in the backline. Walla now looking for a couple of more shots for himself. Jub going to now try and flank as he gets his second kill. Going to kill the Hanzo. I haven't seen that character in a minute, so I can't. His name slipped my mind, but it's still a-okay. As St. Clair, they want to try and cap this point, and they're going to do it if he can land his shots. And Jub going to fall, which is super, super unfortunate. Kingdom Heart now going to fall, and that's going to be a reset coming in from St. Clair.
I'm hoping this won't be another close game, but it's looking it might be another reverse sweep from St. Clair. Well, I'm hoping for a reverse sweep from St. Clair.
It could be really good, 1-1 apiece, and it's the first 1-2. It's whoever can get this. And we usually see St. Clair they struggle. They struggle a little bit going initially onto maps like this, onto a control map where they have to get to 100%. They allow the opponent to get to a very high percent, and right when they have to, they immediately engage. Just like now, they see the opponents in this very tight corridor, and they're going to try, as Walla ends up getting picked off. He ended up getting booped into the opponents, or he even tumbled into the opponents. So as we see 3 members now of Auburn all fall. Jub going to grab his first kill, and he's not able to grab a second as he ends up getting frozen by May. Jussie just gonna wait for his opponents as he just crouch, uncrouch. Just waits for his buddies.
Team.
That's it.
You gotta hold off. Can't go in alone. We've seen a lot of strong action from the enemy team's May, which I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, me too. May coming out here, which is really good, like you just said, as well as the McCree, where you need to see the Deadeye come out at any point, and we're starting to see Auburn actually pull out the McCree to counter the McCree. How are you going to counter McCree? Put another McCree in there. Deadeye going to be coming out. Is he going to catch anybody? He sees the circles, and the opponent knows where exactly he is, as all of the opponents are in this side room. McCree not doing a whole lot of damage. He is not a Reaper. Reaper is able to get into the side rooms and do a whole lot of damage as he has the Death Blossom. Is he going to use it? He does, and Wern ends up just eliminating him right off the bat. And it's fine. It's fine. They end up getting a defeat, and you can hear the coach saying on the side, guys, just don't worry. We end up losing 1 game, but we still got 2 to go.
You can't let the one defeat just kind of one loss, I should say, kind of set the tone for the entire thing. You got to be able to come back from that to re-hype yourself up, re-get excited. Because another way that you can look at it is that this is just another opportunity to beat the other team just as badly, if not worse, to show them who they're messing with.
It's much more tilting as a team if you've won the first game and then lose the next two, right? You get all of this time dragged out, and you have to feel the loss, right? It's that thought of we lost this first match and we had such a momentum lead, and we're just not able to catch back up. As we see, I think the map, or at least the game's going to be going. We're just going to go into the next match here in 4 seconds, I think, as we get into this one, and we can already see these teams just kind of setting up. We're not going to start just yet, but from what we saw out of St. Clair, they had a lot of potential come out there. They initially won that first control point, and they lost the next two, but it's still fine because I feel like their mentals are good.
Yeah, I agree. I think they'll be able to come back from it. You can tell that the tone has kind of shifted, but that they're gonna go in, hit hard, and then keep hitting because they don't like to lose. And I don't think they want to lose this.
I don't like seeing the home team win, and even if we can't be biased, I'm going to be just a little bit biased. It's fine. But we're going to be jumping into this next match in just a little bit. We'll give ourselves a breather, give you guys a breather as well, as we're just going to send it off to a very, very quick break as we jump into this next match. TESPA Overwatch. We'll be seeing what map comes out as we send it off to a break. We'll be back in just a bit. Cool.
Now entering King's Row.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. I told you it was going to be a very quick break, and it was a quick break at that, as I just needed a quick breath, as we were talking a whole lot back there, but it's completely fine because it's our job. And we're going back here onto King's Row. We already saw this map come out here in the last match versus Ohio, and this was a very, very long one, a long dragged out match. And I want to see what this third map could potentially be. But before we get into that, we're seeing the team comp of what could become St. Clair's bread and butter.
We see the Reaper, we see the Doomfist, we see the Orisa and the Sigma. These heroes are really good in the current meta, and then we also see the Lucio Moira.
Exactly, right? Some of these heroes are just kind of standard for a map just like this one, King's Row. If you don't know, you got to cap an initial point and then push a payload to its two other checkpoints. So we'll see if St. Clair are able to do that way faster than their opponents, because right when one team is on attack, immediately in the next round, they immediately switch to defense. So it's a lot of switching of team comps from what we'll end up seeing eventually. As so far, we see the Thera come out, and in prep we were talking about that a little bit, how Thera is really, really good on a map like this one. You can see the Sigma shield just going way into the distance.
Seeing the switch from the Reaper Doomfist to the Pharah Hanzo, I think it'll be an interesting kind of composition, but the Hanzo will be good to pick off any enemy team snipers that decide to choose.
And as we get into this one, we see the opponents, Auburn, just rush onto that point as we just have to defend it. And this is a usual position for St. Clair, as we know exactly what to do in scenarios just like this one where we defend and just recall our guys. Willow ends up bringing out the Widowmaker, taking out Walla as well as Willow. Even though Walla did end up getting rezzed, it is not enough. And Auburn, just like that, we didn't even get to see the spawns happen. They just got onto that point, capped it, and we're already on to the next one.
They're moving hard and hitting fast, and they're playing incredibly aggressive.
Yeah. Yeah, we can hear all of the comms going down in that second room, as well as from our coach. We are very, very intense going into this next point, and we got to keep the morale high. We got to keep our spirits high, as this could be the stop of the opponents. Right here, right now, we'll see if we can do it, as there's 5 minutes, 20 seconds on the clock, as the May is the one to push our guys back. Even the Reinhardt is the one to be that initial frontline tank, as the Reaper being taken very low. Coalescence is going to be coming out as the May is on the left-hand side. Reaper trying to do as much frontline action as possible, as the Mercy just needs to heal everybody and everything as possible as well. We hear a lot of ultimates going to be coming out. We haven't seen just yet what it is. Walla going to fall first. We see Jub unleashing his Dragon Strike. Dragon Strike going to be coming out first as well. Orisa going to grab one kill for herself. It's a 2-for-1 so far for St. Clair, as a lot more damage is going down onto the opponent. She's going to be pushing them on back. Jesse going to grab a kill for himself before everything happens. Crypt going to grab another one. May going to fall. Orisa going to fall. Willow going to grab a kill for himself. Jub at the end of the day. Sometimes Jub just goes a little bit too overly aggressive, but it's fine because he's the DPS. He's the front line. He needs to get this work done.
I think St. Clair really needed to combat the aggressiveness with aggressiveness of their own. They needed to push back just as hard and be like, no, no, no.
Yeah.
No, no, no. Not right now.
Not today. From what we see, Wall is the guy in the front line. Just to add on to your point, he's the dude in the front line. He loves to get work done, and we can see it right here. Crypto not able to get his ultimate off. He kind of got picked off just a little bit too much as the opponents just kind of ran into us, and we were not able to do anything. We see the giant Symmetra barrier coming out as we see Hanzo on the top, just trying to unleash heck on Auburn University, and we're not able to do too much. And I speak a little bit too soon as Jub is able to get one kill for himself. We also see 96% coming in from him. Is he able to unleash the dragon in just a couple of seconds? He's going to grab 2 kills for himself. He's got it available, and I completely missed the blizzard that went through, and it didn't really do a whole lot. As we see May in the back line as well, the dragon not doing a whole lot of damage to our opponents. The Sigma ultimate going to be coming out as we get stunned up by the Reinhardt. Reinhardt not going to do a whole lot other than kill Jub. But now Auburn, they just need to wreck whoever is in front of them, and they're going to do so with ease as Crypto is in the back line. He's trying to play that aggressive DPS. We also saw for a split second, we saw the Battle Mercy come out.
Just a split second. At some point, as a healer, you need to go, that's enough.
Yes,
you gotta
I'm
take
just
it
going to
into
put
your
that
own
away.
hands.
I'm going to put that away as the pellet pistol only does a certain amount of damage. But now we're starting to see the ult combos coming out. Kingdom Heart has his, as well as the Orisa, so there could be a little bit of combos coming out here.
A little bit of the double boosting coming from the Mercy and the Orisa would be very interesting, but also Mercy putting herself in the air keeps her away from the May.
Oh, Jub! Mid-air, looks down his scope and snipe his opponent's Jesse. Gonna grab 1 kill with the Coalescence. Oh, the Ice Shard from the distance. Gonna take down Jub as Reinhardt's shield goes completely down. This is when he is in his most vulnerable state, as Orisa not gonna go down just yet, and I speak a little bit too soon as the Blizzard gonna be coming out. Kills 1, kills 2, kills 3 as Crypt goes down. Jesse as well as Damage. You also see Jub in the back, gonna grab 1 kill for himself, gonna grapple onto the top position, see if he can take out anybody in the backline. Answer so far is gonna be no, as Auburn University, even though they've got 3 minutes left, they take out these 3 points.
Watching that, it was really at the end there, I wasn't sure who was going to take it. St. Clair really did their best on trying to keep the Auburn University off of the payload, but they struggled to take care of the enemy team May. I noticed that a little bit. They were finding it hard to take her out and keep her out.
Exactly, and in a map like this one, you have to have that momentum switch, where even though your opponent's just absolutely wrecked, you have to now come back, rethink, and maybe jump back into this one as we see a black screen come out so far for ourselves. I think a crash comes in from our end as we just wait a little bit. We're just going to wait for a pause as we get all these technical issues solved, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to jump over to a break as we get whatever issues we need solved out over on our end. We'll be right back in just a little bit.
Entering King's Row.
And we are back into this one, ladies and gentlemen, as the pause just slowly gets wrapped up. We had a little bit of issues on our end, but it's completely fine as we're saying ours in the chat. We're going to be jumping back into this one in just a couple of seconds, but this kind of gives St. Clair a little bit of breathing room because Auburn, these guys are coming out really, really strong here.
Watching this go down, I'm like, I need a minute to like compose myself.
Yeah.
It's like when you watch even a sports game, when you watch it, you know the game and you've played the game, you're like at the edge of your seat, clutching your fists on your knees because you feel like you're there. Yeah. And with this first person perspective, it feels like I am playing this character, and I'm just like, oh man.
Even sometimes as a caster, we look at games like this and we're like, oh yeah, we're the ones casting it. We're the ones that everyone hears. All right, we just kind of get so intense with it that we just stop talking, and it happens a lot. But now going right on back over to the old strat that we saw before, and the opponents know exactly how to counter it. As we go on to the statue, we ended up seeing that in the last match, and Ohio had no idea how to counter that one. But now in this one, Auburn, they've seen some stuff, and they know exactly how to counter that as they just go right around their own May wall, surprise attack onto our guys. Baptiste getting a triple kill. I never thought I would say those words, but I said exactly that as the team kill comes in from Auburn.
Again, the Auburn team's May, their Willow is just on point with all their plays tonight.
Yeah.
It's really impressive to see, and watching St. Clair kind of try to figure out what to do with it and how to combat that and what strategies they can try and pull.
Yeah.
It's been, whew.
Whoever this person is has been going absolutely insane. The Brad doing his job as a hit scan. Kingdom Heart, though, gonna get the res off, which is really, really good. Fist Lord now gonna get his own kill for himself. Willow, one that we were talking about a whole lot, gonna grab a kill for themselves as well. Just gonna do another complete team wipe. We didn't even get to see that action. It was so incredibly fast. But that's gonna be Auburn just wiping through their competition. It's just so intense to face against.
It's going from the first game against Ohio State to now, and watching the kind of reverse thing happen.
Oh, the headshot. Walla gets on top of the wall and bap. It was just so awesome to see. Now we're starting to see the complete spread come out. Jub just trying to scatter the competition. Ends up grabbing one kill for himself. You see the high new come out in the back. Jub gonna launch a rocket back there. Gonna grab one kill. Gonna grab two kills for himself. Walla gonna grab a third. Even Jub just securing the whole entire fortification by destroying the Orisa ultimate, and even in the backline versus May, gonna drop on top of her head, and a punch right on top is gonna secure St. Clair with the push onto the payload.
The Farah and the Hanzo combo has been amazing because May can't freeze you if she can't see you.
Exactly. When you're in the air and when you're behind structures, what May is what we're hearing at this point. As we get to see a lot of these ultimates pop back up. We see Walla, he's got an ultimate of his own. We also see Jussie. We're also seeing Jub as well. Going to get his ultimate very, very soon as we go towards the section of the map that a lot of teams love to go aggressive in. I was going to pass it back, but I have no time for that whatsoever. Jub now going to get caught in the blizzard, and I speak a little bit too soon because he doesn't. He's got the cannon barrage available, doesn't want to use it just yet, as we see a lot of the St. Clair members, all of the team, have all of their ultimates. That section of blue, I know.
Completely lit up.
I know that's what you reacted to, and I saw that, and that was music to my eyes, if that's even possible.
We see Mercy popped up with her Valkyrie, and now we just need to wait and hope that St. Clair isn't going to just do ult after ult after ult, and somebody's going to hold on to it.
As Jussie ends up getting the first kill with the Coalescence here onto the point, and we can see the Orisa ultimate also coming out. Walla grabs a kill as well. Jussie with another Coalescence kill as he gets right into the back line and just tries to eliminate his opponents however possible. Walla, what was that? Grabs 2 kills for himself. The DPS hero of the day coming out here. Game number 2, map number 1. As they need to come back, and this is exactly how they're going to do it.
Exactly. At some point, Walla was like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm tired of this May. I'm tired of seeing her.
Yep.
She is everywhere. She's got to go. She's got to get out of here. I'm done with this.
Taking matters into his own hands as we see another payload push. I always love seeing Farah hit the top of the ceiling. What? We didn't even get to see that. Walla grabbing his first kill here. Going to unleash the arrows as well. Cannon barrage. We see that as Jub tries to find his own angle. As the rest of the opponent's going to be just shooting through that little crevice. He gets himself out of there as we see him try and find a new position as McCree. 1, 2. Not going to be a third one as the Brad ends up eliminating, but it doesn't even matter. 2 kills was enough for 1 as the rest of the team just wipes through their competition. St. Clair, they're now on to their first checkpoint.
Oh, that was so satisfying to watch.
Yeah.
Watching Farah get her 2 ults and then
Yeah.
immediately finding the McCree dead after. It's phenomenal.
Ooh, definitely phenomenal as we see a barrage of cannons, however you want to call it. She's gonna suicide. Nope. What am I saying? I'm the dumb caster that doesn't know positioning, but she's gonna get eliminated. Willow gonna be taking him out as we see the Dragon Strike gonna be coming through. Almost gets interrupted. Gonna grab 1 kill for himself onto one of the main tanks as the Baptiste barrier basically gonna keep his team alive. As Walla tries to look for any sort of damage, any sort of ult charge, and he definitely finds it. Willow with not, I don't think a headshot, but definitely a shot towards the body of Willow. Gonna take this May out here to start out the round, and kind of a nice little point, or at least a little bit of progression coming in from St. Clair as they take halfway onto the point.
They just need that one last
Extra,
good push to get it just across this last corner here.
And this might be it as Jub grabs his first kill in the May wall, kind of blocking off the ally McCree. I don't know what that was, but Jussie gonna grab a kill. Jub on the right side gonna grab another one. Walla drops down and grabs an amazing elimination. The flick was crazy. Had no idea where the May was and immediately pops into the right site. And Kingdom Heart with the Mercy. Who says Mercy can't get kills? Just punches her opponent there. Kingdom Heart gonna grab a kill for himself as well. They're just going to try and finish off this map as their opponents just try and do whatever possible. They have to back off, or at least Jub has to, grabbing a first kill for himself. And we can see that the May wall was blocking the opponents. We saw a little bit of a skull. That could have been a really, really nice kill, but the Reinhardt shield going to be coming up, and a lot of kills going over to Auburn. As now St. Clair, they have to reset. They have about maybe 1 more push for themselves.
1 more good push.
Yeah.
Get the payload to that endpoint and let them cap this final point.
Exactly. It's the name of the game. Can Auburn defend this final point? You know that we're going to be going absolutely insane if we can actually do it and send it over to a tiebreaker. You can see the Earthshatter gets blocked immediately by Sigma, which is really good. Damage going to grab his first kill of the fight. Going to grab a second kill of the fight. The tanks are doing most of the work here. Really nice shield meta going to be coming out. Jub in the back line. Crypt going to grab a kill for himself, as well as we see the McCree going to grab a second kill of the fight as the Dragon Strike going to be coming out. It's high noon, ladies and gentlemen, as we see the Lucio going to be taken out. As St. Clair, they're keeping it completely calm in the other room as I'm freaking out because we're going to a round number 3.
Ooh. It was nice to see at the end there them turning it around from getting bullied by this May for a good portion of this game, and then turn around being like, you know what? Enough. Enough. Just reverse bully the May.
Exactly.
You're done playing.
Yep. The Orisa. If it was any time for Damage to pop off, it was going to be now, and he definitely does so with Crypto. And as you said, the May going to be popping off as well, which is really nice. We'll see. Crypt. My bad. It's Crypto. That's what his name is in game. All right.
Eventually we'll learn how to say everybody's name. A good way to
I'm just going to
avoid
call him Sigma.
There you go. Just call him by the champ name.
Call him by the hero names here in this one. Walla just going to be switching over between all of these different heroes here. And I want to see what he ends up going for, because I feel like the Bastion is kind of his signature, but we've seen him on so many different. We've seen him on the Hanzo. We've seen him on the McCree. We've seen him on the Pharah. He just loves to switch it between all these DPS, and he knows how to play every single one of them.
Seeing Walla pop off last game was, especially at the end, just finding the Mei and finding every opportunity to kill her.
Yeah.
It was good. It was a good feeling.
It was definitely really good to see here. Game number 2, 3-3 apiece as St. Clair and Auburn. We'll see who ends up taking this first point. The only problem for St. Clair is they only got a minute, so they got to get onto this point as fast as possible. As we see Walla looking for any sort of potential for himself to get onto this point, or even to grab any sort of kills. As we see a little bit of damage being taken onto the opponents. We hear Reinhardt's shield, no shield in the background. That's not good. Lucio gonna grab his first kill onto one of our main tanks. Walla gonna grab a kill for himself. As we see the Pharah almost popping off, almost grabs a first kill, but the Orisa shield is just a little bit too much for our boys to handle, as there is 18 seconds. If Pharah can grab a pick here, that'll be really good. Obviously, if she can grab a pick here, it would mean that we are now able to get onto the point, but 9 seconds is going to be remaining as we are all grouped up. We are all ready to go as we hear a couple of ultimates going to be going off. The coalescence from the opponents going to be getting popped off, as a lot of these DPS are going to be falling very, very low. Coalescence on both sides as we see the pharmacy start to pop off. 1 kill onto the Brad. 2 more kills from St. Clair. We just need 3, 4, 5, and 6 to finish off this point. Before we cap it, Walla with the quick flick onto the main support. Jub gonna finish it off, and we are gonna stay in overtime as we cap the point and maybe try and push the opponents from getting back onto this point here.
So now, even hearing in the comms, they know the Mei ult is gonna be their downfall, and they need to do everything they can to combat that.
Yeah. What's so awesome is hearing the coach's comms, because in game number 1 he was very, very calm, but now he's getting very, very into it. You have to do this, and you got to follow my instructions, because this is how we're going to win. The Blizzard are going to be coming out from the opponents. Auburn going to completely wipe the competition, and we got warned about that. The Blizzard going to take out our boys, St. Clair. They now have to defend for 3 minutes and 50 seconds.
It's a long time to keep that point and to make sure that Auburn doesn't have a second to even move the payload.
We gotta watch it. We gotta watch and see if we can defend for 3 minutes and 50 seconds. I've seen it done before. I'm gonna use that statement. I know a lot of people hate it because it's like it's very obvious. It's very obvious what's gonna happen. But it's possible. It's very, very possible. And if we do it, then I'm correct. And we'll hopefully see that here.
Do you see the Baptiste from Jesse, which gives them the immortality field, which will hopefully keep them alive a little bit longer?
Exactly. We'll potentially see that come out here and how it exactly fits into this composition as we all get prepared for what's going to become an absolute bloodbath of a point take at that. You can see the Orisa setting up in all these different little positions, because I feel like when you're setting up in this brand new round where you guys are the underdogs, you gotta pull out all the crazy strats. This is where you gotta chimp out sometimes.
So you gotta absolutely lose it.
Yeah. It's like, you know what, we're gonna send the Orisa up there, we're gonna send the Baptiste with her, and we'll see how exactly it ends up working out, as this is where the Bastion is gonna come through. Double shield. Gonna be coming out through for this comp as we see our opponents may wall it off. And now we have to switch positions, right? We predicted one thing, the opponents found out what we predicted, and we got to switch it up as one tick is initially taken onto this point. Bastion going to try and pop off as there's a tree right in front of him. Jub going to grab a kill. Jesse going to grab a second kill. Wall going to grab a third as Crypt ends up grabbing a fourth. All of the different teleportations from Symmetra is not going to be enough in order to finish this round off. Sigma grabs a kill. Kingdom Heart going to punch his opponent. Usually don't hear about a Mercy punching a Mei, but it's definitely going to happen here.
As a Mercy main, it's very sathing to see a Mercy just 1-2 knock him out.
Exactly. Sometimes you got to get dirty, and your staff is not enough to do it, so you got to go through. You got to throw a couple hooks. As we see now, St. Clair completely reshape on what they're doing. Stay right inside of that back corner. It's the name of the game as the Maywall going to be coming out. Not going to get anybody for the time being. But Walla now has to get out of that corner and now reposition onto the main battlefield as he sees the tank line come down. Going to grab his first initial tank, and the Maywall is not enough to do it. As the main tank over on the side of Auburn going to fall, as well as Fist Lord. You can see the res coming through for Kingdom Heart, and he does it very successfully. One of the main tanks, Jub going to grab another kill for himself. 2 minutes now on the clock as configuration tank not going to be used, but Walla is the guy to come out and do it as they got 2 minutes left on the clock. Basically 2 more pushes now for Auburn, as Auburn have already taken 1 tick, but they did it with the cheese strat and not with the normal strat, which means now that St. Clair know exactly what to do. They know what the opponent's game plan is.
What's interesting to see is that Willow, who was playing Mei this entire game, is no longer playing the Mei.
Exactly, and Walla going to grab his first kill here right behind the Bastion. Power up as Mei going to destroy the competition with the Blizzard, as well as with sheer competition. It only took 20 seconds for the opponents to die, come back, and die once again as we hit that 30-second mark, as Auburn has no idea what to do.
No, before Auburn was like, we got this.
Yeah.
We just keep wiping them out. We'll just walk all over them. And now they're struggling. They're struggling to even take this first capture point.
They might try the exact same strat they just used. We can see the ultimates that are going to be used. Sigma, we see the Orisa going to be dropped in just a couple of seconds. Walla has configuration tank, which is so incredibly annoying to deal with. And you can hear the comms coming through in the other room as they are getting very, very into this one, as we see the Reinhardt shield going to be going down, as well. The Sigma going to pull up 4 members into the air, but it's not going to do a whole lot of damage as we go 1 for 1 so far. Sound Barrier going to be coming out, and that's going to be St. Clair being wiped for the time being, as Jub is not able to carry the team. Willow going to grab a whole lot of eliminations for his team. Tick number 2 and tick number 3 is going to go over to Auburn.
Watching this, my chest feels heavy, and I love an underdog story, and here's hoping that St. Clair can pull something, because if they're going to do something, that's got to be now.
Yeah, they have to go, and we see the Maywall going to be coming out. It blocks most of the competition off, and we see the Tracer go all across this point, trying to find a kill for himself. 1 for 1 going to start this. Earthshatter going to be coming out, not killing anybody for the time being, as Willow is absolutely popping off. Someone's got to destroy this Reaper, as Reaper gets to pop off. That's going to be it. Auburn takes the series 2-0.
Ooh.
My goodness.
That was intense.
That was insane.
Watching that go down.
Yeah. Very, very close here at the end of the day. Saints Gaming, they went insane here on this map, and we get to see all of the different strats. This team was so hard to beat, and I do not blame them whatsoever, because they came with aggression. These guys were insane with the amount of aggression they pulled out here on these different maps. What'd you think of that one?
Honestly, I think St. Clair can learn a lot from this. A lot from how to deal with annoying maze and cheese strats and enemy teams, kind of figure out where they are and finding the positions to go around them.
Yeah.
St. Clair set up top. Auburn was like, okay, we'll just go through the building and around right to your blind side. So I think there's a lot of takeaway.
Yeah.
And they're very much so on kind of even ground skill rise.
Exactly.
And St. Clair just needs that confidence boost, that last bit of aggression to go in and just seal the deal.
Exactly, and that was just a beautiful analysis, so I have nothing to add to that one. So thank you so much, Sox, for joining me here on the cast. It was your first time casting, and you did a beautiful job. My first time play-by-playing, and I tried my best, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you guys so much for tuning into the stream. We'll see you guys next time.